Welcome, my friends, to another episode of Journal Entry. And this episode has been, I should say, not is been, has been, a week in the making. So sorry for my regulars who are always counting on me for videos every week. Last week, I guess that's the bad news, good news of this last week, was that someone in my family messed with my microphone, and unfortunately, even though it showed that it was operating, the settings were so bad that the audio wasn't very good. I'm still kind of working through some of the other videos in the editing side of deciding whether I even want to release them. It's hard to release videos with just super horrible audio. I mean, if anything, audio is probably the most important. If there's a few glitches in the video, which happens from time to time, not a big deal. But in the audio side, it's kind of like, kind of needs to work out really well. I'm lucky to have a decent mic, and so I need the audio to work. So I like, it really was a gut punch because I really don't have a whole lot of time for editing or even doing videos. So when I do take the time to, and there was like 5 or 6 videos that were, I think I'm going to be able to salvage about 2 of them. Some of them was the building of Singapore ended up being a disaster for the most part. So I don't know what I'm going to be able to do. Well, we'll release what I have, what I can, right? One was a haul video. I think I was able to keep that one only because I had it diverted to, again, the audio. I was just far enough from the mic that it didn't distort. All of the other ones, the audio really distorted. So already in 2024, so I mean, I did check the mic. The problem is that when I do the mic check, the audio is terrible in my Microsoft Surface Go. So like, it's not necessarily the quality I'm looking for. I just want to make sure it works. But unfortunately, I didn't stop and re-record and do all of that. So I would have just deleted it and moved on and, fixed my settings, all that kind of stuff. But anyways, it's the learning lesson of 2024 is to always check your audio to make sure, which I do. I just, this one, I didn't take that extra step to make sure the quality was good. So that was a big disappointment already. A lot of time wasted. But it also gave me, I guess, time this week to just be like, hey, I'm not scrambling, and I was, staying up till 1 a.m. to get all this stuff fixed. I really want to work on making sure I'm getting enough sleep and getting enough exercise. I have been doing a step challenge, which this last week was another good news, bad news, learning lessons, where, again, I really failed at getting myself to the gym. And it's really cold outside, so I'm not like out wandering around doing a lot of steps. I've just been you gotta keep your arms moving to kind of keep these steps going. As I record this, I'm sitting, so I'm losing steps as we speak. It's one of those things where it's making it really hard to build because I'm constantly wandering around the house, whatever. So it's just a bad formula to both do a step challenge and also try to build Lego. It just isn't conducive for it. I mean, it's good when you're tired, you can rest and build. But for the most part, that's the other thing, is that usually in the beginning of the year is really, really busy at work because we do a lot of end of year reporting. And so it's just that factors in as well. But let's get out of the depressing news. Let's get into the good news and why I'm in this Packers ugly Christmas sweater. And congratulations to Kansas City Chiefs, to the Texans, the Packers, and the Lions have all moved forward. To them, we've got coming up tonight, when this goes live, the night of tonight. It will be the Bills and Ravens that are going at it, and then Philadelphia and Tampa Bay Buccaneers that will be going at it as well. So that'll round out the playoffs. I'm really excited. Boy, it was like, I think it was one of those things where I didn't expect this year for the Packers to make the playoffs. I knew, and even the general manager has been like, hey, we've amassed a lot of talent, but it takes time for this talent to come together. And one of the things I really like about the Packers team this year is just the fact that they're just a fun team. They're young, they're fun, they're not, I don't know if humble, it's hard to be an athlete and be humble, like truly, but you don't see Jordan Love doing all sorts of crazy things and dating, celebrities and doing all of these things, right? So he's 100% more grounded. I mean, I don't know if I don't really know him that well, so I wouldn't say whether he's like fully grounded. He could be a prima donna behind the scenes, and he's fooling us, right? But even simple things like he's just becoming legendary. Like this week he helped a lady out of a snowdrift, randomly, just little things like that where. Who knows? Would have Aaron Rodgers kept driving on and being like, "That's not my problem," or somebody like Jordan Love steps in. What he could have tweaked his back, but he's helping others. He seems like an amazing kid. I hope he can keep this up. And it's a fun team. And if people get out of line, they get suspended right away. That's Jair Alexander. But it's been a really, really fun, solid team. I'm excited for them. They have a huge task ahead of them. The 49ers are definitely, in my opinion, the 49ers were going into the favorite to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. So, but the fact that just how the Packers just took it to the Cowboys in their own stadium, I mean, the 49ers, they're not a perfect team. They actually look a lot like the Cowboys, which is kind of scary. They're probably just a touch better on defense. But their offenses are very similar, like CeeDee Lamb, and then you've got Deebo Samuel. There's just they're pretty loaded on talent. So probably the biggest difference too is that they have just an absolute terrorist stud in McCaffrey. That guy from a running back position could wreck the Packers' chances of moving on. And it's crazy that in Jordan Love's first full year, the Packers now are at the doorstep of potentially an NFC championship, and technically this is the hardest team. This is the team that probably should be in the championship, the 49ers. So, wow. And then the storyline's happening with the Texans. Boy, the Texans are they're in that same situation where they're kind of a rising team. And Chiefs really kind of finally, I felt for the first time, they really kind of came together as a team and are starting to get better and better and better. And you've kind of seen them get better. They've been very inconsistent this year, but at the same time, some of the folks have really started to take, some of the players have started to take some steps forward. And then the Lions just survived kind of a slugfest. Boy, there was a lot of hitting going on in that game. The Rams versus Lions, it was a pretty heavy hitting game. But I don't know if this is why you're here. Maybe it's just because I'm interested in it, so I'm kind of journalizing my moment. It was a pretty awesome Packers game. What's funny is that whenever my family probably is sick of when the Packers play, they're probably done with me this season, because since I'm in the step challenge, every time and I do it anyways regardless of the step challenge, but I run around the house to Todd Rundgren's Bang on the Drums all day. So I play that song, and then I do laps around the house. So it was just kind of a fun way. And I was actually getting tired by was it the third quarter? And they were up like, I don't know, like 40 something to 10 or something at one point. It was like, holy cow. And then Dallas, it's just natural. I see this in sports all the time. You literally go into more prevent mode. Next thing you know, you're on your heels and they're just scoring on you left and right. That's what Dallas did. So the score really didn't tell the full story of how dominating the Packers were. I mean, they literally you really rarely see in the NFL many teams putting their backup quarterbacks in when the game is that far gone. You just don't see it anymore. It's almost, maybe it's kind of the Tom Brady effect because of what he did to Atlanta that one time in band camp. Yeah, so it was quite the game. Felt a little bit bad for Dallas that it wasn't a more competitive game, but at the same time, it was Mike McCarthy, and it was really good seeing his former team that he abandoned. You know, did they abandon him? Did he abandon them? I don't know. Whatever. They mutually parted ways, and so now it's great to see Green Bay take it to him, and they may have ended his career and tenure in the Cowboys. I don't know. The Cowboys have been so good, but now if the Packers are legit with Jordan Love, you've got Justin Fields potentially here being good for the Bears. You look at the North, the Vikings could be good if they actually if Kirk can actually make a comeback. You've got Goff now. You got Stafford. You got all these guys. I don't know if Dallas, all it takes is a couple injuries and maybe they're not even relevant anymore. So it's interesting times ahead for the Cowboys, to say the least. What else in the news? I haven't really been doing much buying and selling of Lego. That has been off the table. Like I said, I finished Singapore. There are a little bit of hauls, mostly around. You'll see Wednesday I'll release the haul for the I did a Lego store run, and then I've got another one I'm doing just the other day. There should be one around the Target Lego experience, which is the shelves are really clean, pick clean out there. I haven't seen much on the clearance in my area. There's got to be resellers because the clearance shelves are literally constantly picked off or cleared out. Every time I go to like random Walmarts that are in the middle of nowhere and stuff like that, and it's like the far suburbs, those sometimes that's when I've scored the most on clearance, because I'm assuming there's just not as much. Maybe they don't run in the volume, but they're getting some of the same maybe quantities, and so then they just put them on clearance. But I haven't had much luck at all for either the Targets or Walmarts by me, because there's just so much. So that is it for this. Not a lot of Lego, a lot of Packer, not doing enough building. I'm recovering my backlog of videos because of the audio being gone. It's a lesson learned for this year. So thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. I appreciate you. Make sure to like and subscribe to help me out on my road to sharing my journey with this brook that we all love of Lego here. So with that, thank you, and we'll catch you on the next journal entry. Bye for now.